Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I am Holly Roth, and here you will find helpful and time-saving resources for teachers who teach online as well as those that teach offline. I do offer a variety of children's read aloud series for kindergarten through second grade. Now, oh, and before I forget, please subscribe so you can catch the new content that's coming out. I appreciate it. Consider touching the bell too. That'll help me. Thanks. So today's video is really focused towards the teachers that I teach with in a classroom. So those that are used to teaching traditionally. Earlier this week, I did a presentation for the staff at one of the elementary schools that I go to work with students who have a second language. And so let me give you a little bit of background, and I will be doing some reading from the presentation that I created just because I spent time on it. I want to make sure I give you the information that I wrote down. Okay, so this is student engagement in a virtual setting. This is really geared toward a traditional classroom teacher who is just embarking on teaching in a virtual setting. And it's a refresher for all of us that have even been doing it long before. So just some background on me. I'm a traditional classroom teacher with a background in special education. I have worked in both regular ed and special ed classrooms. 2 years ago, I transitioned to my current role as an ESL teacher. Prior to this transition, I started a part-time job, teaching English in a one-to-one situation to students in China using a popular online platform. More recently, I began teaching a variety of lessons to children from all over the world on a different online platform. I teach anywhere from 1 to 8 students at a time on this particular platform. So while this online experience may be new to some of my colleagues in the district that I work with, maybe a lot of them, I can assure you that online learning is exploding across the globe, just in my experience. By no means do I consider myself an expert, but I wanted to share with you some of the things that I've learned during my time teaching online. So let's get started. Okay, let me share with you. What is student engagement? So, the Glossary of Education Reform defines student engagement as the degree of attention, curiosity, interest, optimism, and passion that students show when they are learning or being taught. Today I want to focus on 4 areas that will help you engage students in a virtual classroom. And again, this is for someone that's teaching for a school district that's learning and jumping into this new virtual environment. So, number 1, partner with colleagues. Now I know you're probably thinking, I already do that. I realize you all will do this naturally through your grade groups as you've done many times before. But I want you to be intentional about finding a teacher or a group of teachers that can help you navigate in our new reality of the virtual classroom. We are all on an accelerated learning curve at this point, and through conversations with one another, we can work through challenges, share strategies, and learn from each other's experiences. Just know that you're not alone. The way that I do this on online platforms that I teach for is by joining Facebook groups of the companies. If I have a question that I'm facing, or I'm facing a particular challenge, I can check the Facebook groups to see if others have experienced it and how they've handled the situation. So for you in the classroom, if you've already got those go-to people, or at least a person that you know can help you figure out solution, or vice versa, you might be able to help. Go to that person, talk to them, see what you can find online about the situation, because there are many teachers across the United States that are doing this now and that are facing the same challenges that you and I are facing. So, number 2, establish a rapport with students and their families. Again, I know you are thinking, I already do this, and I am certain it is something you do naturally in a traditional setting. More than ever, teacher and family communication is vitally important in the virtual classroom. I want you to consider meeting virtually with each student and their family so that you can better understand their needs and make a communication plan together. Go ahead and have your plan, but also know that you may have to be flexible and listen to their concerns and their needs. Be sure to get the name of the contact number of the caregiver that stays with the child during the day, um, just in case you need help with an issue in real time, meaning while you're in class. You might need to pick up your phone and text the caregiver if you're having some behavior concerns or just something is going amiss, going wrong. The way I do this on the one of the platforms I teach for is by contacting what I call a fireman, and I do this by messaging them while I'm in the classroom. So that's kind of like you pick up your phone and texting your fireman, which is the person that's with that child. And so I also give the parent and student written feedback after the class. So even if it's just putting a message into the classroom saying so and so did great today, or so and so had trouble focusing, can you do that? Just offering words of encouragement and also what areas need to be worked on. Okay, so number 3, creating a welcoming virtual learning environment. There is no doubt that there is a high potential to lose connection with a student without a physical presence with them. That's why setting the right environment is essential for virtual learning. Your students only get to see your classroom through a computer screen. So let's make sure what you see or what they see is the best it can be. Now, I hope you see the best too. There are various situations that can happen, and so but that's all in your ground rules and your procedures for your class that you'll set forth at the beginning. But let's talk about creating a welcoming virtual learning environment. So first is the background. It's okay to have things in the background, but make sure it's not distracting. If you're able, choose an uncluttered area. Your students' focus should be on you unless you are using a learning tool. You should avoid mirrors, glass, and laminated posters, anything that gives off a reflection from your lighting. Now let's talk about lighting. Make sure you have good lighting. You want your students to see you well. My experience with webcams is that the lighting is dimmed and they don't capture all the lighting in the room well. I would recommend experimenting with your lighting to find the best light for your teaching space. You may need to add an additional lamp or two near you. On a side note, good lighting may wash you out. That's why TV crews use makeup, ladies and gentlemen. But ladies, you may want to consider wearing a little additional makeup with some lipstick. Just something light. It doesn't have to be. I've made both mistakes of not wearing any or wearing too much. So you'll find a happy medium that you just want to be bright looking, and makeup does wonders for a camera. Guys, I don't really have a suggestion for you. Webcams. Let's talk about webcams. Be sure to position your webcam where the student can see your face. You don't want to be too far or too close to the camera. Whether you use an internal or an external webcam, try to keep it eye level with the student's eyes. Remember, they see what the camera sees. Another side note, if you're teaching cyber school, which we're all now teaching virtually, so even at least for the first 9 weeks, everybody's online. So you might want to consider this. Consider alternating sitting and standing positions for teaching. So that means you might need to set up an area ahead of time that is best for standing, and an area, maybe it can be the same area, but just allow yourself some standing time, because your back will get tired of sitting, and vice versa. You'll get tired of standing, especially with the amount of time that we'll be online with our kiddos. This is something new to me too, doing it back to back to back. Anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. So you may have to adjust your webcam between the two positions. There's lots of ways to get creative and set up a standing table, and I can help you with that. Well, that anyway, yeah. So the sound is another issue, another focus. It's important for your students to hear you well, so make sure each day that your headset and microphone are working and the students can hear you clearly. It's okay to do a sound check before class, and our school is providing us with a headset. Now, if you have something you like, if you prefer something over the other, just make sure it has a good microphone and that it functions well. Okay. Number 4, be awesome. Greet your students every day with enthusiasm. Your attitude will show your students that you care about them and their well-being. You may be the only contact they have outside of their home during a school day. It's a challenging time for students. Fun and flexibility from teachers is compassionate and essential in a virtual classroom. When I first open a classroom and see a student, I greet them with a smile, a wave, and an enthusiastic hello. Even if I'm not feeling it at the moment, I still do it and it makes me feel better. But you can tell it also grabs the child's attention and they are bonding with you. I ask them how they are doing and give them a moment to tell me about their day. And when I say moment, I mean a brief moment. You can do this. Throughout the lesson, I pay attention to my facial expressions so that I can keep a soft smile even if something goes wrong. I maintain eye contact with students when they are speaking. And when it's time to say our goodbyes, I make sure I call them by name and let them know it was good to see them. All right, a lot of what I've told you today in this video may seem like common sense to you, but hopefully you heard a nugget or two that will help you achieve high student engagement in your virtual classroom. And this is just the start. These are the basics to engaging your students in your classroom. The next step is learning the platform and using all the tools that are available on the platform. To my knowledge, the district I work for is headed into becoming a Google district. And so we'll have tools like Google Classroom, and there's all kinds of fun things you can do. I know it's very intimidating for some, and I don't know any of it yet. I'm learning. I hope to be able to help teachers, and so as I learn, I will share that information with you. All right, so guys, that's what I had for the presentation I did for my staff. If you've got questions or concerns, just put them in the comments or email me. My email is in the details below the video. I do wish everyone well for the school year. I hope to be a resource, especially for my school district and the teachers that are learning the new platforms and that are learning how to teach virtually and engage their students. I think this is the number one concern for our administrators, probably for ourselves, that you want to be able to engage and keep your attention of your students. So, and there are lots of great teachers out there in our district that are very engaging. They just have to now shift it to the virtual platform. So, you guys, I wish you the best. Stay well, and don't forget to subscribe, please. Thank you. See you next time.